The desperate alliance, the Karathi Empire's last hope. Captain Zara Korith stood on the bridge of her flagship, watching the stars streak past at impossible speeds. Her golden skin had lost its natural shimmer, dulled by months of running from an enemy that never tired. The Karathi Empire, once the most powerful civilization in the galaxy, was now nothing more than a refugee fleet fleeing across space. The bridge crew worked in tense silence. Their crystalline control panels flickered, with warnings about fuel levels and structural damage. Behind them, 300 ships carried the last survivors of their species. They had been running for 8 months now, and the Nexus swarm was getting closer every day. The Nexus swarm consumed everything in their path. They turned entire star systems into feeding grounds for their biomechanical ships. No species had ever successfully fought them off. The Karathi had tried for 2 centuries, using their advanced energy weapons and particle shields. Nothing worked. The swarm adapted to every strategy, every weapon, every defense. Navigation Officer Thane approached Zara's command chair. His blue-scaled hands trembled as he held out a data tablet. "Captain, we have found something unusual," he said in their musical language. "There is a star system ahead with signs of intelligent life. The third planet shows industrial activity." Zara took the tablet and studied the readings. The system had 8 planets orbiting a yellow star. The third world showed clear signs of civilization. Radio signals filled the space around it. Metal objects moved between the planets, and energy signatures indicated nuclear power sources. The species appeared to be in their early space age. "How advanced are they?" Zara asked, hope flickering in her chest for the first time in months. "Basic nuclear technology, simple rocket propulsion, and primitive communication systems," Thane replied. "They appear to be several thousand years behind us technologically. Their largest ships are crude metal constructions using chemical fuel." Zara felt relief wash over her. A primitive species would be perfect for what she needed. They would not interfere with the coming battle, but they might provide supplies or even serve as a distraction while the Karathi made their final stand against the swarm. "Set course for the system," she ordered. "Prepare for first contact. Make sure our approach looks peaceful. These primitives are probably terrified of space travel, and we need their cooperation." First contact with Earth. The Karathi fleet dropped out of faster-than-light travel at the edge of what the local species called the solar system. Immediately, their sensors detected dozens of ships moving through the system. Most were clustered around the inner planets, but some were exploring the outer reaches near the gas giants. On Earth, Admiral Marcus Chen was in his office at the United Defense Council headquarters when the alert came through. The massive underground complex beneath the Colorado Mountains had been humanity's real military center for 50 years. Above ground, it looked like a simple research facility studying climate change. Below ground, it housed the most advanced technology in the known galaxy. "Admiral, we have contacts," reported Colonel Lisa Park from the main operations center. 37 ships of unknown configuration just appeared at the edge of the system. They are broadcasting on multiple frequencies, apparently trying to communicate. Admiral Chen set down his coffee and walked to the operations center. The massive screens showed tactical displays of the alien fleet. The ships were elegant, crystalline constructions that seemed to glow with their own light. Beautiful, but clearly advanced far beyond anything humanity was supposed to possess. "Any threats detected?" Chen asked calmly. "Negative, sir. They appear to be maintaining a peaceful distance. Our analysis suggests They are refugees, not invaders. Ship configurations match no known aggressive patterns. Chen nodded. This was the moment humanity had been preparing for since 2089, when their deep space monitors first detected evidence of galactic civilization. For nearly a century, human scientists had been intercepting signals, studying alien technology, and preparing for the day when contact would be inevitable. "Put them through," Chen ordered, "and make sure we look appropriately primitive. Activate the masking protocols." Throughout the solar system, human installations began broadcasting false energy signatures. Advanced fusion reactors were made to look like simple nuclear plants. Gravitic drive ships suddenly appeared to use chemical rockets. Weapon platforms disguised themselves as communication satellites. On the main screen, an alien face appeared. The creature was humanoid, but clearly not human. Golden skin-covered features that were both familiar and strange. Large eyes that seemed to hold incredible intelligence looked directly at Chen. "I am Captain Zara Korith of the Karothi Empire," the alien said through translation software that seemed remarkably advanced. "We come in peace, seeking aid from your species." "I am Admiral Marcus Chen of Earth's United Defense Council," Chen replied, deliberately keeping his expression calm but curious. "This is the first time our species has encountered visitors from beyond our system. What kind of aid do you seek?" Zara felt surprise at the human's composure. Most primitive species reacted with either terror or aggression when first contacted by spacefaring civilizations. This human seemed almost as if he had been expecting them. "We are fleeing from a terrible enemy called the Nexus Swarm," Zara explained. "They consume entire civilizations and turn star systems into feeding grounds for their biomechanical ships. We have been running for months, and we need a place to make our final stand." Chen appeared to consider this carefully. "You want to use our system as a battlefield? We would protect your world to the best of our ability," Zara said quickly. "In return, we ask only for permission to use your space and perhaps some basic supplies. We can offer you some of our older technology in exchange." On Earth, Chen turned to his staff. In reality, they were all trying not to smile. Human intelligence had been tracking this conflict for years. They knew about the Karothi Empire, the Nexus Swarm, and dozens of other galactic civilizations locked in endless warfare. Earth had been preparing for this exact scenario. "We would be honored to help," Chen said finally. "However, we would want to observe the battle and learn from it. Our species is new to galactic politics, and this would be an educational opportunity." Zara felt hope bloom in her chest. These humans were even more cooperative than she had dared to expect. Their primitive technology would not interfere with the battle, and their desire to learn was touching in its innocence. "Of course," she agreed. "We can provide you with some basic shield generators and energy weapons for your protection. Your people can observe from a safe distance while we engage the swarm." "That is very generous," Chen replied. "We have prepared several observation platforms that should give us an excellent view of the battle." After the transmission ended, Zara called her tactical officer, Commander Vext Thalon. "What do you think of these humans? Typical early space age species," Vex replied. "Their ships are primitive metal constructions using chemical propulsion. I detected nuclear power sources, but nothing sophisticated. They seem friendly and eager to learn, which is unusual but helpful." Zara looked out at the human ships moving through their system. They did appear basic compared to Karothi technology. Large, bulky vessels that moved slowly and seemed designed more for cargo transport than combat. None of them appeared to have significant weapon systems. "Sir, there is something interesting," Vex added. "Some of their larger installations show unusual power readings. The signatures are inconsistent with their apparent technology level. Probably just inefficient reactor designs," Zara dismissed. "These species are just learning to harness nuclear energy. Their power systems are bound to be crude and wasteful. Human preparations begin on Earth the moment the Karathi transmission ended. Admiral Chen activated the most secret protocols in human military history. All stations, this is command. Operation Masquerade is now active. Repeat, Operation Masquerade is active across the solar system." Human forces began their final preparations. What appeared to be simple mining operations around Mars began revealing their true purpose. The asteroid processing plants were actually weapons manufacturing facilities that had been producing advanced armaments for decades. Near Jupiter, what looked like scientific research stations were actually tactical command centers coordinating humanity's real military forces. The gas giant's moons housed shipyards that could construct vessels using technology beyond anything the Karathi possessed. Dr. Sarah Kim was working at Research Station 7 when the alert came through. Like all human facilities in the system, the station had been designed to look primitive while hiding incredible capabilities. Her atmospheric research facility was actually one of humanity's most advanced weapons development centers. "All personnel, this is Admiral Chen," came the broadcast. "Our guests believe they are dealing with a primitive species. Maintain that illusion at all costs. The success of our operation depends on complete deception." Dr. Kim activated her workstation's hidden functions. Around Research Station 7, dozens of satellites that appeared to be simple communication relays revealed their true nature. Each one was a sophisticated weapons platform, disguised to look like basic technology. The deception was perfect. Human engineers had spent decades studying intercepted alien communications, learning exactly what signatures different technologies produced. They could make their most advanced systems appear to be primitive nuclear reactors. Their fastest ships looked like slow cargo haulers. Their most powerful weapons appeared to be simple industrial equipment. Captain Rodriguez was aboard the merchant vessel New Tokyo when the masking order came through. Like all human ships, the New Tokyo had been built to look crude while hiding revolutionary technology. External cargo pods concealed advanced armor plating. The ship's hull design made it appear slow and clumsy, while actually being one of the fastest vessels ever built. All ships maintain standard masking procedures. Came the order from Fleet Command. "Our guests must continue to believe we are using chemical rockets and basic nuclear power." Rodriguez smiled as his crew activated the deception protocols. The New Tokyo's advanced gravitational drive systems were completely hidden by false energy signatures. Its weapon systems were disguised as cargo handling equipment. Most importantly, its true acceleration capabilities were masked to make it appear as slow as the Karathi expected. Throughout the solar system, similar preparations were taking place. Humanity had been ready for this moment for nearly a century. Every piece of alien technology they had secretly studied, every intercepted communication about galactic warfare, every refugee ship that had passed through human space had taught them something valuable. The Karathi thought they were dealing with a primitive species that would be grateful for protection. In reality, they had just asked the most advanced military civilization in the galaxy for permission to use their space as a battlefield. The trap was set. All humanity had to do now was wait for their enemies to arrive. The swarm arrives, the enemy appears 3 days later. Space itself seemed to twist and tear as the Nexus swarm entered the solar system. Admiral Chen watched from the command center as sensors detected the arrival of something that defied easy description. The swarm ships were not built, they were grown. Biomechanical constructs that looked like massive predatory creatures swimming through the void. Contact bearing Mark 774, reported sensor operator Martinez. I count 43 major vessels, plus hundreds of smaller craft. They are maintaining formation at the edge of the system, apparently scanning our defenses. Chen nodded. Calmly, through intercepted communications over the years, humanity had learned everything about Nexus swarm tactics. They always began with reconnaissance, studying their enemies before overwhelming them with superior numbers and adaptive technology. On the Karathi flagship, Captain Zara felt her heart sink as the enemy appeared on her sensors. The swarm had found them again, and this time there was nowhere left to run. This would be their final battle, fought in the space around a primitive world whose inhabitants had no idea what was about to happen. All ships, prepare for combat, she broadcast. To her fleet. Form defensive screen around the fourth planet. Use the gravity well to our advantage. Today we make our stand. The Karathi fleet moved with practiced precision toward Jupiter. Their crystalline ships gleamed as they charged their energy weapons and activated their particle shields. 300 vessels arranged themselves in battle formation, ready to face an enemy that had been hunting them across the galaxy. Admiral Nexus Prime commanded the swarm fleet from the bridge of his bioship Devourer. The vessel was a living creature the size of a city, grown specifically for war. Its hull pulsed with organic rhythms, and weapon pods that looked like massive eyes tracked the Karathi formation. Scan complete, reported his symbiont navigator through their shared mental link. The Karathi have taken defensive positions near the gas giant. Standard tactics for a cornered prey species. The local primitives appear to be evacuating to their homeworld. Nexus Prime felt satisfaction flow through his merged consciousness. The swarm had been hunting the Karathi for months, and finally their quarry had nowhere left to run. This would be an easy victory, followed by the consumption of a primitive world that would provide fresh resources for their war machine. Begin standard assault pattern, he ordered. Eliminate the Karathi first, then process the local species. These primitives will serve as excellent genetic material for new bioships. The battle begins. The first phase of the battle unfolded exactly as both sides expected. Karathi energy beams met swarm. Bioplasma in spectacular displays of light that could be seen from Earth. The advanced alien civilizations fought with weapons that could crack moons and shields that could deflect starfire, Captain Zara commanded. Her fleet from the front lines, her ship's crystalline hull absorbing and redirecting enemy fire. Around her, Karathi vessels used their superior energy manipulation to hold back the swarm's first wave. For a moment, it seemed like they might actually succeed in stopping their pursuers. But the Nexus swarm was adapting. Their bioships began, modifying their weapons in real time, learning from each exchange of fire. Slowly but inevitably, they began to push through the Karathi defensive line. Shields down to 60%, reported Tactical Officer Vex. The enemy is adapting faster than usual. They have learned from our previous encounters. Zara watched, in growing despair as her fleet began to take casualties. The swarm was doing what it always did, overwhelming superior technology through sheer numbers and evolutionary adaptation. In another hour, the Karathi would be extinct, and the primitive humans would face the same fate on Earth. Admiral Chen watched the battle through sensors that the aliens couldn't detect. Human stealth technology was generations ahead of anything either civilization possessed. They could observe the entire engagement without either side realizing they were being monitored. "Analysis complete," reported Dr. Kim from her disguised research station. "Both fleets are performing exactly as our simulations predicted. The Karathi are using standard energy-based tactics. The swarm is employing adaptive biotechnology. Neither side is showing any tactical innovations." Chen nodded. This was exactly what human military strategists had expected. Both alien civilizations were locked into ancient patterns of warfare, repeating the same strategies that had been failing them for centuries. They had no idea that every battle they fought was being studied by a species that had turned warfare into a science. "Signal all stations," Chen ordered. "Prepare for Phase 2 revelation. It's time to show our guests what human hospitality really looks like." Earth's true nature revealed. The first sign that something was wrong came when the mining platforms around Mars began to rotate. What the aliens had assumed were simple ore processing facilities suddenly revealed gun barrels the size of skyscrapers. Massive weapon systems that had been disguised as industrial equipment swiveled toward the battle. Admiral Nexus Prime felt confusion ripple through his bioship's consciousness as sensors detected the change. "Analysis," he demanded through his mental link with the ship's organic systems. "Unknown weapon platforms detected throughout the system," came the response. "Energy signatures suggest technology beyond current galactic standards. Threat level, extreme." Before he could process this information fully, the human weapons fired. The first salvo from Mars Base Alpha was invisible to conventional sensors. The weapon used principles of physics that neither the Karathi nor the swarm fully understood. When it struck the leading swarm bioship, the massive creature simply ceased to exist. One moment it was there, the next it had been converted to pure energy and dispersed into space. Asterisk. Captain Zara stared at her tactical display in complete shock. A primitive mining platform had just destroyed a swarm capital ship with a single shot. The weapon had penetrated biomechanical armor that could withstand the output of a star without apparent effort. "Impossible," breathed Commander Vex. "How did these humans?" His question was cut off as more human installations revealed their true nature. The cargo ships moving through the system suddenly deployed weapon systems that defied identification. Research stations expanded into battle platforms. Most shocking of all, some of the asteroids in the belt began moving under their own power, revealing themselves as massive spacecraft that had been perfectly camouflaged. On the swarm flagship, Admiral Nexus Prime experienced something his species hadn't felt in centuries: fear. Through his bioship sensors, he watched as the human forces transformed the solar system into the most heavily fortified star system he had ever encountered. Genetic analysis of local species, he demanded frantically. How advanced are these creatures? The answer came back through his ship's bioneural networks. Previous assessment incorrect. Local species technology level unknown. Threat classification extreme. Recommend immediate withdrawal. But it was too late to withdraw. The humans had surrounded both fleets without either side realizing it. What had appeared to be a primitive solar system was actually the most sophisticated military trap ever constructed. Admiral Chen's voice suddenly filled the communication systems of both fleets, broadcast through technology that bypassed their security entirely. "Captain Zara Korith of the Korathi Empire." Admiral Nexus Prime of the Nexus Swarm. This is Admiral Marcus Chen of the Terran Defense Force. Welcome to the solar system. Both alien commanders stared at their screens in disbelief. The human appeared exactly as he had during their first communication, but now his calm demeanor carried a different meaning. This was not the nervousness of a primitive species meeting advanced aliens. This was the confidence of a predator that had been playing with its prey. "You are both trespassing in human space," Chen continued. "The Karathi Empire requested permission to use our system as a battlefield. The Nexus Swarm arrived uninvited, with apparent hostile intent. Both actions constitute violations of Terran sovereignty. Impossible. Nexus Prime broadcast. Your species shows primitive technology signatures. Our sensors detect only basic nuclear power and chemical propulsion. Your sensors detect what we want them to detect," Chen replied calmly. "Humanity has been monitoring galactic civilization for nearly a century. We know exactly how your technology works, including its limitations and weaknesses." As if to demonstrate his point, every human facility in the system suddenly began broadcasting on frequencies that both alien civilizations had thought were secure military channels. The primitives were using communication protocols that neither the Karathi nor the Swarm had shared with them. "How?" Zara whispered, her golden skin pale with shock. "We learned from our teachers," Chen said simply. "Every ship destroyed in your ancient war. Every piece of technology scattered across space. Every intercepted transmission. We studied it all, learned from it all, and improved upon it all." Around them, the solar system continued its transformation. Jupiter's moons revealed themselves as massive shipyards capable of constructing vessels that dwarfed anything either alien civilization possessed. The asteroid belt reorganized itself as hundreds of hidden weapons platforms took up new positions. Most terrifying of all, Earth's moon split open like a mechanical flower, revealing construction facilities that had been hidden beneath its surface. For decades, weapons that could crack planets emerged from concealed bays. Ships that could travel faster than light without the limitations that plagued alien technology began emerging from underground hangars. "We have been preparing for this day since our first contact with galactic civilization," Chen continued. "Every mistake your species made, every tactical error, every technological limitation, we learned from all of it. We took the best of your civilizations and made it better." The two alien fleets hung motionless in space, their ancient enemies, temporarily forgotten in the face of a revelation that shattered everything they thought they knew about the galaxy. Earth was not a primitive world caught between two warring empires. It was the most advanced military civilization either species had ever encountered, and they had just walked directly into its web. The age of galactic warfare was about to change forever. Asterisk.